Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, where else is my voice coming from? Okay, I had to turn something else off here. Let me load my slides and then we're good to go. Thank you so much. Uh, Let me see who was here first. Oh, Peach Rose. Thank you so much for being here first. And okay, yeah, I don't think we'll be here that long, but it seems to be so much going on in just like a 24-hour period. And well, it is the holidays. And I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to wing it. Um, I didn't prepare like a whole bunch of slides like I usually do, but we'll talk a bit about Tugboat Tommy, and also we'll talk a bit about oh, well, let me see. What else was the other thing? Well, you'll see in due time. It's not important right now. So, Novi D, MLC, Connie Bomber. Hey, Connie Bomber. Veronica Quick, Cindy, is it Zafin? Uh, Maggie ABC, Joan Garcia, that Edie gal. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, well, I talked about Rob Reiner a bit yesterday. As you know, I grew up watching Rob Reiner, as his age is way further north of mine. Um, so by the time I was watching his show, he was already an adult. I wasn't. Um, but I still have a lot of memories of him over the years. Also, later on during the day, we found out that Anthony Geary passed away, or Anthony Geary, if I'm saying it correct. He was a big star on the soap opera General Hospital, the soap opera General Hospital. And if you are of a certain age, then of course you remember Luke and Laura. Luke and Laura, our national obsession with Luke and Laura. Why don't they just let Luke and Laura be happy? Um, and probably one of the most improbable storylines that you've ever seen on a soap opera. That time when they tried to freeze Port Charles, but I'm not even going to get into that. That was like not one of the finest hours for daytime soaps. It was actually kind of bad. But I'm not here to talk about that. Only the good when it comes to these gentlemen. So, yes, Rob Reiner has had quite an impact on my life. And if you ever wonder why I'm the person that I am today, some of those very liberal values that you hear constantly is a mere echo of I guess, the lessons that we were taught, in some cases, lectured by Professor Reiner, playing the character Mike Stivic on the All in the Family series. There's much been said lately about how Norman Lear stole ideas from other people, but I'm still going to give Norman Lear credit for bringing it all together. And even right now, I just had a notion about it. In the sci-fi genre, there's something called the Marvel Universe, right? And the Marvel Universe is where there's overlapping of characters and timelines as necessary to create a universe of superheroes, right? Well, now that I think about it, there was a Norman Lear universe, which featured quite a few of the biggest sitcoms of the 1970s and 80s, right? There was a Norman Lear universe. And yes, I know about the creator of the Good Times and such. And again, I don't want to take credit away from anyone because Norman Lear definitely played a major, major role in bringing it all together. Kind of like one of my favorite architects, Daniel Hudson Burnham. Daniel Burnham couldn't design a building to save his life, but he was the person who brought everyone together. He knew the business side of things. Okay. So, but Rob Reiner, um, he really excelled at the role of Mike Stivic. And if you've never seen All in the Family, I mentioned it yesterday. It is it was a phenomenon. When the first episode of All in the Family premiered, they had a disclaimer because of the very mature subject matter, not X-rated, but just very mature. They were going to approach subjects with humor in a way that people had never experienced before. They never experienced that before. And you could compare it to having a rated R movie on primetime television. Of course, it was not that heavy, but as a kid, a lot of that stuff went over my head. And so I would have to try to learn other ways and watch, other programs, read books and try to put it all together. I'm like, oh, is that what they're talking about? So a phenomenal show. And this guy has been a liberal lion for most of his life, if not all of his life. His father, Carl Reiner, also incredibly talented and creative. Not only could he act, but he could also direct and produce. Um, One of those kind of people that were just funny without even trying to be funny. So they're kind of like Hollywood royalty. When you have more than one generation of incredibly successful talents like Carl Reiner and his son Rob Reiner, when you have something like that, then that's when you start calling them Hollywood royalty. And definitely Rob Reiner would be considered Hollywood royalty. When Harry Met Sally and so many other movies that he created, this guy was very talented. He, I won't say that he exceeded um, his father or excelled above his father when it comes to work, but definitely I would say that at the very least they were equals because his father was quite a pioneer as well with the Dick Van Dyke Show and such. So um, it's just a huge loss. It really is. And one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this also Anthony Geary is because it is the holiday season. It's Christmas time. And not only do we have this, but we have the Bondi Beach. And then what was it? Boston University. We still got a alien life force in the White House who said some disparaging things about Rob Reiner. Yeah, I know. I couldn't believe it either, but he did. Instead of taking the high moral ground, he went as low as he could possibly go. Well, let me take that back. It wasn't as low as he could go. If you leave it to him, he could have gone much lower than that. So let's at least appreciate the fact that he stopped where he did because it could have been that much worse. Um, so, talk amongst yourselves. I will try to read some of your comments. Um, but also, I need to say something else. In the middle of, oh, it was Brown University. Thank you so much. In the middle of all of this, today is my birthday, and I wanted to share this message with you. Misan Harriman, Substack.com. Today, oh my God, I feel so bad to say this, but today is Misan Harriman's birthday. And I'm just afraid that amongst us who know and love Misan, unfortunately, his birthday has been, you know, overshadowed by the events of the last 24 or 48 hours. So anyway, cheers to Misan. Uh, Harriman, we love you very much. We love the work you do. We love the humanitarian that you have been. And he's an incredible guy. He's taken some of the best photos that I've seen in a very long time, especially when it comes to the Sussexes. But whatever the subject matter, for someone who picked up a camera, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, he has become one of the most important photographers around today. And there's no limit to the people who have wanted to be immortalized in his work. So happy birthday to Misan Harriman. And sorry that there's such a dark cloud overhead for your birthday, but life can and will happen. And so here we are. Um, let's see here. Oh, you know what? Do I want to do that one or not? I'm not sure that I can. I wanted to play the sound for Misan's birthday, but it's on his Substack, and I'm not sure that I can. Well, maybe I can. Elaine Parker, I missed you so much, and I wanted to make sure. Believe me, not just you, but you are one of the main reasons why I'm like, okay, I have to get on early. I just have to get on early one of these days. So thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being a moderator as well as a member of Royal Sussex. Um, but yes, always a pleasure. I was even kind of afraid that it might be a bit too late over in the UK. So I'm just like, okay, let me get on. Let me get on. Um, now, um, as promised, I want you guys to hear me son for his birthday. I hope it's okay to do this. But oh, I think I got it. I think I got it. I hope I got it. Okay, guess what? I don't got it. I don't got it. I don't got it. Let me try one more thing. If I can find it, then we'll do it. But right now, I don't got it. Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place. I am, as I said, I'm a really big fan of Rob Reiner, and I am feeling a certain way today. Okay, I don't got it. Oh wait, yes I do. I forgot he's back on Twitter. Never mind, I got it. Bear with me. There we go. I knew I could make this work. I'm just kidding. I had more doubts than you could imagine. Okay, here we go. Here we go, yo.
Hello. Today is my birthday. I am 48 years old, feeling very thankful.
Okay, do you want to add something else to that, Misan? Let's go with that. You say you're 48 and feeling very thankful.
Recognizing the privilege of the time I've had in this thing called life. I will be spending time with my loved ones today, and I wanted to make this video because I think on birthdays, at least for me, I also try and reflect on the world as best I can. And I'm going to give you an update now. And, you know, if you're sending a lot of goodwill my direction, I would ask that goodwill to have you just sit with me and listen to the updates that I'm going to give you, mainly from my capacity as ambassador for Save the Children. But it's important that you listen to this today if you can. Thank you. Okay. The first one is a positive one. The largest aid delivery.
Okay, so I just wanted you all to hear his voice on his birthday, but please subscribe to his Substack. I am going to post it on the on here. I'm going to post it so that you will have the ability to subscribe to his Substack. Hold on 1 second. I'm so sorry I'm not more prepared. Like I said, I'm kind of all over the place today. And yes, I am really feeling about people everywhere, you know. It's the end of the year, and I really, really hate that we're ending our year this way. But let's not let it overtake the joy that we have for life and for our loved ones. Let's not let it overtake that. Okay? We have to try to especially for the children, the grandchildren, um that is very important. But again, if, as I said before, if you are just not feeling it, don't force it. Do not force it. You got to feel what you feel whenever you're feeling it, because if this is a time of year that you struggle, as so many people do, um, keep talking about it, talking to your friends and family and friends that are family. Keep talking to them. Don't isolate yourself. Talk to those closest to you. Okay, so I'm gonna post this at the top of the chat. There we go. That is Misan Harriman's Substack. Please go and subscribe to it, because Misan Harriman is very important to us here in the Sussex Squad, and he is a very sensitive, artistic man. He has a beautiful family, and a heart as big as the great outdoors. And it is his birthday, so happy birthday to you, Misan. Again, we love you here at the Sussex Squad, and let's give him some flowers for his birthday. Okay, cheers. So, okay, Rob Reiner, there he is on the left side with his wife. He was 78, was 68, and you probably have heard some of the details. I won't go into the gruesome details, but the information is available. So if you have been wondering exactly what happened, you can go and find out on your own. I don't want to go into the details right now, but I said so many times that the best sitcom ever was that one that you see right there, All in the Family. All in the Family. It is the one that started like the real gritty yet funny, humorous approach to the sitcom. Based on a British series called Till Death Do Us Part, the very conservative, bigoted patriarch of the family, Archie Bunker in the white shirt, and his very naive wife, Edith Bunker, played by Jean Stapleton, and Sally Struthers as Gloria Bunker Stivic, and of course Rob Reiner, much younger there, with the dark hair and mustache, playing Mike Stivic, and of course that Archie Bunker is Carol O'Connor. Fantastic show. And what's so interesting is that even though Carol O'Connor played this very sensitive but yet somewhat outspoken bigot and, dare I say, racist, like for instance, when someone used the N word on the show. If you recall, when someone used the N word, and back in those days they could actually use the word, um, he said, I haven't used that word in 5 years. So that was the tenor of the show. Fantastic show. I cannot say enough about how much I enjoyed All in the Family. And let's see. I grew up watching All in the Family and General Hospital. This is all so sad. I know. I know. I know, and that's why I thought we ought to talk about this because um it's I don't want us to go into the holiday um you know with our hearts so heavy and not having an opportunity to express ourselves. Let's see here. Let me take a look at some more of your comments. Carol Malone has had to make an apology to Doria on GB News, stating that Doria had never been to prison. Did that happen? Did that happen? If it has, I would love to see that. I would love to see that. And yes, it's about time. It's about time. She was so cruel to have said such a thing. Um, let's see here. Uh, okay, I am looking for it. Okay, let me see if I can find that. If anything, I'll play the sound for it. You know that. The GB News. The GB News. Okay, so far I don't see it. But if I can find it at another time, I will definitely share it. Also, you guys, let's acknowledge a hero. Let's please acknowledge a hero. The man who saved people from being unalived, if you will, at the Bondi Beach, the gentleman Ahmed El Ahmed, who disarmed one of the shooters. They say that on the GoFundMe, they have raised over $1 million for this gentleman who was shot twice in the arm. And one of the big donations, the biggest, $100,000, came from a very prominent, wealthy American, a billionaire, um, who himself is Jewish. I'm hoping that this incident will bring the two communities together rather than further, uh, driving those two communities apart, because it's just very important. I hope that this is one of those moments where the communities can be brought together. I won't get into the politics of it right now, but I do hope that somehow that's possible. Lane Parker says it happened today. Thank you for the super chat. And Elaine Parker says I watched it. Well, I'm pretty sure that one of the squatties is gonna salvage that for us, and I will share it whenever I can. Let's see. Joan Garcia says Baron, many folks complain to Ofcom on Carol Malone. Yeah. I believe. Let me see. Who was the first one I heard mention that? I think it was either Sussex Soldier or Zandy Sussex. They were one of the first ones who was like, this is how you do it. I've already made a complaint myself. And thank you, everyone who has reached out to Ofcom. If for no other reason, I don't hold out hope for a big change, but an apology is a start. And if for no other reason than to make sure that there is a permanent record of such a nasty thing from Carol Malone. But thank you, Joan Garcia, for the super chat. Let's see. Elaine Parker says, I complained that same day. As well, you should have. Okay. Okay, I'm just kind of sliding back here. Take a look at some of your comments. Let's see. I remember when Marilee Evers gave her husband, Meghan Evers, voter registration card to Rob Reiner on Oprah after he did the movie about his life. It was very touching. I never forgot that. So you said Marilee Evers gave her husband, Medgar Evers, who was assassinated years ago. He was a civil rights leader. Gave his voter registration card to Rob Reiner on the Oprah Winfrey Show. I didn't realize that Rob Reiner made that movie. I did not realize that. I don't even remember that on the Oprah Winfrey Show. But oh gosh, that had to be very special. I'm telling you guys, Rob Reiner is he this guy was a giant. This guy was a giant when it comes to civil rights. He definitely knew how to speak up. And like I said, some of those lectures that he gave to his fictitious father-in-law, those lectures, those liberal talking points helped to educate an entire generation of young people. And the best way to do that is using humor. So I want to play this for you. That is Rob Reiner, who was on MSNBC. because I know there are some people who do not know that side of Rob Reiner, and I'm sure most of us do. But I want to play some of his words as a way to honor him. So.
This is just the beginning, and people have to understand our democracy is being taken away from us, and we only have about a year. Just to be clear about this, and people, you're doing a great job, and a lot of other people are doing a good job to tell people what is actually happening in this country. But make no mistake, we have a year before this country becomes a full-on autocracy and democracy completely leaves us. And we're looking at the election in 2026, and Donald Trump knows. He knows that in a free and fair election, he will lose. He will lose the House. The House will flip and will become into Democratic hands. There'll be committee chairs that'll be able to hold hearings. And this is the last thing he wants. So this little, these ICE agents and the National Guard, and now he's called the military in from all over the world to talk to them about, don't be surprised when polling booths are surrounded by American military in the guise of making sure that the elections are fair and that nobody's tampering with anything. And when you see violence breaking out, which there'll be protests, there'll be inciting violence, there'll be some violence, and they'll kick back. Then you'll see the commandeering of voting machines, ballot boxes, to make sure that that election is secure. Well, what that means is that he will then commandeer the election. So we have to make the public absolutely aware that their democracy is being taken from them. And we have to do everything we can to make sure people understand that. People don't, it's a vague term, democracy. It's like, what does that mean? The Constitution, we don't know what that means. People care about their pocketbook issues, the price of eggs, they care about their health care, and they should. Those are the things that directly affect them. But if they lose their democracy, all of these rights, the freedom of speech, the freedom to pray the way you want, the freedom to protest and not go to jail, not be sent out of the country with no due process, all these things will be taken away from them.
Okay, so that was just a little sample of the liberal lion, as I call him, Rob Reiner. Very knowledgeable man. And in so many ways, I know he made his father incredibly proud. And of course, the discussion about his son, who has been accused, who is the obviously the person that, well, anyway, he's the alleged perpetrator. He had a huge falling out with his parents. Substance abuse has been a factor. And Rob Reiner acknowledges the amount of pressure that his son was under, not only because of the incredibly huge person that Rob Reiner has been in this country, but also Rob Reiner's father, who, as I said, is also huge in entertainment. So a lot of pressure, not making excuses for anything, but that's a lot of pressure for anyone. And a friend reminded me earlier today, what is her name from Murder, She Wrote? What was the actress? Oh gosh, what was her name? Not I know the character was Jessica Fletcher, but her name was Oh gosh, how come I can't remember her name? But anyway, years ago, she removed her family from Hollywood because um Angela Lansbury, thank you so much. Her her children, I believe it was her son in particular, was being consumed by Hollywood. And there's been quite a few entertainers that have done that, that have taken their families away from Hollywood and moved to rural communities. Well, in her case, I believe she moved to, was it uh, Ireland? I believe she moved to Ireland. And it was to get her family out of harm's way because of, you know, the amount of pressure that there is on the children of Hollywood stars, of entertainers and such. So that saved her family. And again, she was not the only person to do that. You may have read about this before. If not, you really should, because it was a fascinating story. Um, and it probably saved at least one of her children's lives, having done so. But that's not everyone's solution. So I don't want to imply that this would have been a way to avoid trouble, because nowadays, you know, those things can find you wherever you go. But back in those days, it just wasn't so prevalent. So that's the length that some people have gone to save their family. Let's see. Thank you, SB, for the super chat. And thank you, Carolita Simone, for the super sticker. Oh, I'm sorry, not the super chat, the PayPal. I called it a super chat, but it was a PayPal. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, so again, that was a fascinating story about how she removed her family from the you know, from Hollywood. Again, there's a lot of pressure on the children, and the pressure comes from places that you could not possibly dream of if you're not part of that community. Los Angeles is sprawling, right? Los Angeles County is sprawling. The whole metro area is sprawling. But for some people, especially the communities, people in certain professions, just like any place else, it can seem like a very small town. And people tend to run in the same social circles. So I say just pray for their family. And they said that quite a few friends of Rob Reiner's came to the house because they just could not believe that this had happened. They went to the house. They instinctively went to the house because they thought this had to be some terrible mistake. So cheers to Rob Reiner. Rest in power. And of course, we'll be hearing more about Rob Reiner in the coming days. And Anthony Geary, part of a couple that inspired the country after Princess Diana married what's his name. This was the next biggest wedding, and that was Luke and Laura. The characters Luke and Laura. What is her name? Jeannie Francis and Anthony Geary. Uh, they were huge. General Hospital is where Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, at the time, Meghan Markle, that is where she started her career as an actress. That was her first big gig, was playing the nurse on General Hospital. And from there, there was a lot of ups and downs. There was a lot of no's, and there was a lot of, yeah, but you're too racially ambiguous. No, thank you. That kind of thing. Um, but this show was so big that there were celebrities begging to be a part of it all. Even Elizabeth Taylor had a guest role on a soap opera, one of the biggest stars ever. I believe she was the first actress to make more than $1 million for one movie for the Cleopatra. She didn't want to do it, so she gave them this astronomical figure so that they would leave her alone. And when she said, okay, give me $1 million, they said, all right, when can you start? That's how big she was. And so Luke and Laura was like everybody's favorite couple. They remind me of Harry and Meghan. They really do, because everyone was rooting for these characters. Now, in real life, trust me when I say this, there was absolutely nothing there. They were friends, but unfortunately for America, it was not meant to be. It would have been a amazing thing if they were in love in real life. Anthony Geary lived his truth, and that is his husband that you see in the image right there. He married Claudio something or other, and moved to the Netherlands. He lived in Amsterdam, I believe it was. He moved to the Netherlands, and there he lived happily. I think it was since 2019, or maybe before that. They had been together for like 10 years, but he lived there happily. They what do you call it? He had surgery, and there were complications from the surgery that he had 3 days ago, and that is why he passed away. So very sad. Great guy, great actor, and again, very sad news for anyone who remembers Anthony Geary, and anyone who watched the General Hospital at the time. Hey, Legs, good to see you here. Hello, Rebecca Arthur. And it looks like he received an Emmy Award, or is he presenting an award? Oh, I don't know. I think he won it. No, you know what? I don't know. But yeah, so still a good looking guy, still looking good after all those years. Now, with all of the things that have been so upsetting in the past couple of days, there's one thing that is going to really help me pull through this holiday season. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm already upbeat and excited for Christmas, as I have been since I was a little kid. Emily in Paris is back, I believe, Thursday, but they'll be back very soon. Emily in Paris premieres this week, and these are the stars of Emily in Paris at the premiere party. This is season 5. This is their 5th year of Emily in Paris, and I could not be more excited. It's like one of my favorite things to watch, because nobody gets terribly hurt. Nobody dies. It's just food, clothes, Paris, sunshine. It is a love letter, a postcard image of Paris. If you ever wanted to run away to Paris and fall in love and you were not able to, this is the next best thing, I promise you. And Ted Sarandos, as you can see, there he is. Ted Sarandos right there in the thick of it. I think he's a fan of Emily in Paris too. Do you think so? I mean, look at him. He's practically one of the actors. I'm surprised he hasn't done a cameo appearance. Yeah, with everything going on, the fear of a hostile takeover from whoever those people are, this guy has found the time to go to the party to celebrate season 5 of Emily in Paris. If you have not watched it, go on your Netflix and start from the first episode where she's running along the beach in Chicago. She plays a Chicago sales something or other advertisement agency person, and she goes to the Paris office to help out. And from there, it is a comedy of errors, lots of misunderstandings, but a great show. And talk about eye candy. Lots of eye candy in the show. So if you enjoy that, then that's the place you want to be. Okay, let me take a look at some of your comments here. Benjamin Padilla says, I enjoyed hearing Carol Malone's apology. Hopefully this will cause some to doubt half the garbage they hear about Meghan. I doubt it, though, but it should be a warning to tabloids and authors to be careful. Yes, a cautionary tale, I hope. But again, yeah, I'm with you. I don't hold out hope for that because there are some people that just want to hate, plain and simple. Let's see. Antoinette Kennedy says, Baron, do you know the history of Central Park in New York? Yes, that it was a Black community. Yes, I do. That they uprooted all of the Black people and made them leave so that but there was like what, schools, and I think they had a hospital. It was really a self-contained community. I mean, up until the civil rights era, there were communities all across the country where Black people were self-reliant. And that was one of the earlier ones, especially in the state of New York. So, yeah, that is an interesting story. What was it called? Seneca? Was it called Seneca, New York, or something like that? I can't remember the name of it. Let me see. Okay, the main Black community in Central Park history. Yes, Seneca Village. I was right. A thriving settlement of free African American property owners that existed from 1825 to 1850. In the park current west side, 82nd to 89th Street, before being displaced by the park's construction. It was significant. It was a significant enclave offering refuge and autonomy with homes, churches, and a school. And today, the site is marked by a rolling hill playground and ongoing efforts to commemorate its legacy. Yep. Okay. Wow. I'm surprised. I have been forgetting so many names lately. I'm just like, is that right? Okay, but yeah, that's what I know about it. Let me see here. Yep, it was just like the other two that they burned down, Rosewood. Oh yeah. Well, I do have that map of the carnage that took place. across the country, especially after that movie Birth of a Nation. That's when a lot of Black communities across the country were attacked. And of course, Tulsa was the first time that the United States ever bombed a city using that newfangled thing called an airplane. They literally bombed Tulsa. That was the first time that the military had ever done that. See, a lot of people, and this is very important, if you are not an American, if you are not a Black American, and you assume that Black people in the United States did not fight, there was so many fights. A lot of those fights are not recorded in history because they did not want to encourage others to take arms or to, to go against the system. But you should know that there were quite a few of these situations across the country, and Black people were armed and they were organized. But there was one thing that the Black community could not possibly have on his side, and that is the state militia. They would literally call the army to settle these things. They called the army, they called the military with the bigger weapons and such. So, but it's not like Black people in the U.S. just laid down and took it. We fought. They fought, should I say. Thank you for that, Antoinette Kennedy. Gentrification. Yes. Nowadays they have a more polite term that they use. What is it? Intimate domain. It's gentrification when it happens to everybody else, but for us, it's always eminent domain, meaning that to create a larger tax base or to create some amenities for the community that they don't actually have now, they pick and choose who has to lose their homes. And yeah, urban renewal, that's another one. Urban renewal, that's what they used to call it in the 60s, the 50s and 60s. Okay. Now, Tugboat Tommy. His name is Tugboat Tommy. He has his hand on somebody's mommy. Why is where is his left hand? Where is Tugboat Tommy's left hand? Does anybody know? Is this a ventriloquist or is this a shady reporter from the Daily Mail? I knew I meant to bring up something the other day, and one of the squaddies posted this on their Twitter. Where is his left hand? Now remember, he's a father figure. And that's all he is a father figure. But I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with this picture. I just wanted to point out how awkward that looks. Right? And it might even explain why she's smiling. I mean, after all, anytime somebody puts their hand on my behind, I tend to smile too. I'm like, hey, you. So, I mean, it's not really much else you can do, but just kind of like, hey, you. You know what I'm saying? What else do you do when a rogue hand finds your backside or whatever? Could be the lower back. Yes, he may actually have his hand on her lower back. So let's not go there until we know better. Although I don't know why I am bestowing more grace upon the two of them than they would possibly ever give Meghan or Harry. But yeah, it probably is just something like an optical illusion. But whatever it is or it isn't, I'm sure that there's nothing untoward happening. Let me see. That's so true, Baron. Hi, Buxy Brown. Let me see. Baron, I told you Thomas Markle Sr. is a nasty old man. Look at him. He thinks that troll is his daughter. I'm sorry, that troll of his daughter wants him. Listen, she took one for the team. As far as I'm concerned, she climbed up Mount St. Thomas Markle. She climbed that big, giant, fleshy heel of a stomach, and she didn't come down until she had that letter. So, again, she took one for the team. In some kind of way, some far off, mysterious way, I have to say I admire her tenacity. I couldn't be the one to do it. I don't think anyone who had any type of self awareness could do something like that. I mean, it's just you look at him. I don't care if it's like his best day. It's still ugh, ugh. You know what I mean? Cringe, cringe. But no, seriously, I don't know what those two are to each other. But what we do know is that when he found out that he was going to lose his um, left leg from the knee down, instead of getting in touch with his caretaker son, he called upon um, this person, um, um, Graham, Carolyn Graham. That's who he called upon. The person who has done so much to try her best to make sure that Harry and Meghan's life has been as miserable as possible. That's who he turns to um, when he's in fear of surgery or losing his life or whatever. During those very big, serious occasions, he goes to a reporter. Now, she claims that she will make sure that it is established that everything is off the record unless otherwise mentioned as, on the record. I'm sorry, but I just don't believe that. Hey, Hazel Jones, I just don't believe that. That is a little bit too easy to exploit, right? This man is 81 years old. There's a man in the White House right now that is scaring the bejesus out of people because he's older and seems to have gone through a cognitive decline. I'm not sure that Thomas Markle Sr., by all rights, should be eligible to make certain decisions for himself. None of that, of course, is Meghan's fault. Meghan is just simply trying to protect her peace. She's trying to protect her family. Some of the things that this crafty old man has said has made life very difficult for the Sussexes. And he just will not stop. Playing a game, she may be his wife because only a fool would do what she continues to do, what she's doing. Or she has a book coming out. She is, according to her, she is the U.S. editor for the Daily Mail or Mail on Sunday, whichever it is. But she has some type of rank when it comes to the Daily Mail. And as such, maybe her expense account uh, helps to do certain things that need to be done. Also, I should tell you, it was established yesterday well, actually, it wasn't established yesterday, but it was established some time ago. But the video has been making the rounds of Thomas Markle admitting that he was paid for the famous photos before the wedding. I even shared what I believe to be a contract for that payment. And Thomas Markle Sr. acknowledged, yes, I got paid. And that, yes, I'm still making money every time those photos are used. Now, how much do they pay for the use of those photos? Well, I don't know, but the Daily Mail, among others, are the ones who are paying that kind of money. It's despicable. Oh, she's missing her broom and hat. Are you saying that she would be more comfortable as one of the cast members of the hit musical Wicked? I got you. I got you. So let me see. Let's take a look at this one. This one was from yesterday. Do you like the thumbnail I created? I think they're two of a kind. I really do. I think they're two of a kind. Oh, God. Are you having trouble with your children, too? That is extraordinary. Camilla, have you heard? My King Charles III impersonation is getting really bad. I'm so out of practice. Oh, that was from yesterday. There we go. My tears with Meghan's dad as I told him to choose her over our friendship. Notice how she was careful not to describe what it is. She just said over our friendship. Is that what you really want, or is that just for the cameras? I say it is for the cameras. Let's see. Aaron, another podcaster said that Tom's leg was amputated in October, and this was all planned to get Meghan to call him on the phone. Wow. Well, that alleged amputation from October, it does seem to make a lot of sense because the timeline seems just a bit murky at best, right? So it would be very difficult to establish a timeline, but he seemed to me very healthy after his supposed ordeal. Now, see, was it September or October when they had the earthquake? That was the other thing. Was the earthquake was vying for attention when he told Samantha allegedly that he was trapped in his apartment. So, and again, the reporter Graham, what is her name? Oh gosh. Anyway, she was there. She was there. Carolyn Graham. She was there. Let's see, Baron. The Reiner movie with his son is called Being Charlie. Oh, that's the one where he and his son. It's about his son's recreational drug habit, right? I have not seen that, but I guess a lot of people are going to watch that very soon. Wow, that is just, oh, that just is so sad. It really is sad. Mm, mm, mm. Well, yeah, I do want to see that. And he defended his son up to the very end. He, my view, my opinion. Oh, by the way, thank you, Joan Garcia. My view, my opinion. She said that it can be very problematic for parents to try to set boundaries for adult children, boundaries that should have been in place uh, years ago. Now it is way more than what can logically be managed to try and, um, you know, lay down some rules and of engagement and such. It could cause more problems than it helps, but I feel for the parents because sometimes it's just like you may not have an alternative but to try tough love. Not to say that that's what happened here, but sometimes all you have is tough love. It's not easy. I tell you that it's not easy. Um. Oh, you haven't spoken to Harry either, have you, Camilla? Oh my God, he has not spoken to. Oh man. The only bad thing about this photo is that his stomach is not, in scale to what he really is. His stomach should be about at least a foot higher in places. Merry Christmas to you. Ba-do-do-do, bo, 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 ba-do, ba-do-do-do, bo, 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 ba-do. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I write. When the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. The snow. Oh, that's my favorite Christmas song. Now I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. That's my jam. That's my jammy jam. Let's see. Cookies and Cream says that ungodly family doesn't know when to leave well enough alone. Carolyn Graham and the Daily Field trying to clean up their mess. They're only bringing more attention to their idiotic shenanigans. Hear, hear. Leave well enough alone. Yep, leave well enough alone. Let's see. When Thomas Marco Sr. Is that clan stopped trusting Samantha Marco, she let the cat out the bag about that earthquake. Yes, I heard that. As a matter of fact, I believe I did read it, but now I forgot how that went. I forgot how that happened, but it has been alleged that they were not actually stuck at the hotel. Not in the way they said they were, anyway. Okay. Oh, let me take that away. And just a reminder, do not leave garbage here. Do not leave. Listen, if you leave garbage sitting on the bench, on the ground, wherever you leave it, in the bushes, there is going to be hell to be paid. Do you understand me? There will be hell to pay. So, gentle reminder, do not leave garbage here. Isn't that interesting how that just fits? See the little red sign there? It's almost as though someone knew he was coming, had a premonition that he was coming, and left that and left that sign there for his viewing pleasure. Oh, yes. Yes, Mo Shannon, Sherry Ware, and Petal, and Anita of My Duke and I, and many more. Where did they go? Well, in some cases, there's a lot of stress and anxiety, not only because of the way the Sussexes have been treated, of course, but the orange menace in the White House has made it very difficult for people. Yeah, it's just there's so much going on, and it can be very stressful. And of course, we know Petal lost her father last year, so I'm pretty sure that she, had that going on. And then it just and I forgot the other one, Gaza. A lot of people have had a really tough time because of everything going on in Gaza, and rightly so. Rightly so. It's one of those things that make you just hate to go into the social media. So you really can't blame anyone for feeling like that, especially when things happened the way that it did. So yeah, but I miss all those people too. Let's see. Why didn't Thomas Markle ever put it to the record that Doria was never incarcerated? They are no longer married for a long time, but that's still his ex-wife and the mother of his child. Because he's a pig. He is a very nasty person. Very nasty. Thomas Markle wants to be the central character. He really wants to be the central character. He claims that everybody owes him, in some kind of way. The institution, the media, and of course, Harry and Meghan. He feels as though that people are in debt to him. It's delusional. It is absolutely delusional. Peach Rose, I have given that a lot of thought. I've given that a lot of thought. And in particular, Doria, because from what I heard, one of the neighbors, let me drink some water. I'm losing my voice. From what I heard, one of the neighbors inquired, who is that black lady coming and going from the house? To the likes of which one of Meghan's half siblings said, oh, don't you know? That's the maid. So I could just imagine. I could imagine. They seem, consider, all right. when I looked at Thomas Markle, the first thing I thought is, oh God, I do not want him walking Meghan down the aisle. There's something very shady about him. And then in no time, it was established how shady her half sister was. And then when we got to know her brother, her half brother, it wasn't any better. It wasn't any better. So yeah, I have I get very worried about what Meghan and Doria was exposed to in that house. It does bother me, because I'm just like, that may be the very root of it, and they just are not able to discuss it at this time. So yeah, I think about that quite often, what it must have been like. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for your comment. That was very thoughtful, and I'm glad you shared it. Let me see. LDSW Thomas Sr. is delusional, just like those entitled left behind royals in that family over there. Yeah, he thinks he's the main character, which is shocking to me. He really believes that he's the main character, that fortunes will rise and fall based on how he feels any given day. Like he's Warren Buffett or something. Let's see, Baron, I especially like your knowledge on history of Chicago and other cultural and high society out there. Oh, well, thank you so much. Is it Kay O'Brien? Thank you so much for that. I love history. I really do love history. History and architecture, those are my like favorite subjects. And geography, those kind of things. But yeah, Chicago has such a rich history. It's just easy to get excited about telling the story. It's a great city. And by the way, they say that in the downtown area, that there are like some, let me see if I recall the numbers. There's like some, I don't know, 170,000 people living in the area. And that in the next few years, actually by the year 2036, is it? They say that the 2035, they say that the downtown is going to double in terms of population, and that so many office buildings will be converted into mixed use projects with retail. What do you call the other one? Residential, perhaps condominiums along with resident. Anyways, it should be pretty spectacular. So, but yeah, that's like by the year 2030 or something like that. So it's going to be ongoing, and you will see the city in ways that you didn't think possible. And thank goodness so many of those gorgeous old buildings are landmarked so that they cannot demolish them. I spoke about this yesterday. You don't know when Thomas Markle is pretending or when he, is serious about his image, right? Because he said the whole thing with the photos before the wedding is that he wanted to work on his image, and that he did not do it for the money. That's what he said. He warned us that it wasn't for the money. Then what was it? What was it, pray tell? Let me see if I still got that sound bite. Hold on, let me see if I have that. I should. I really, really should.
Trust me. Thomas says he didn't do it for the money, even though he's still getting paid. I didn't do it for money. I did this to change my image.
You must still be making money off the use of the pictures.
Absolutely. Because those pictures will sell forever. And now the Markle patriarch says he's willing to do anything to exploit the royals and make a dime, including getting paid to do this documentary. I don't care. I mean, at this point, they own me. The royals own me. My daughter told me that when I reach my senior years, she'll take care of me. I'm in my senior years now. I'm 75 years old. So it's time to look after daddy.
Oh boy. And you
got to trust me.
If that's not enough to make you puke, I don't know what is. That just sounded so creepy. And then let me play this one. This is Meredith Constance.
Before we can talk about this thoroughly enraging piece, I have to point out that nowhere in the nearly 1,800 word piece does Caroline Graham ever mention the fact that she was responsible for writing and publishing a piece that included a private letter from Meghan to her father, which obviously copyright violation, invasion of privacy, but also that they removed parts that didn't work with the narrative, including Meghan's pleas for her father to be careful around the media because she was understandably worried about their ability to manipulate him. In writing something like this, you continue to prove Meghan's point. Yes, we're so concerned about proving her ethical clarity that the Daily Mail decided to put this behind a paywall. Obviously, I didn't pay for this shit. She says they met in the turbulent aftermath of his daughter's wedding to Prince Harry in May of 2018. In my professional capacity as the U.S. editor for this paper, interviewing him about the rift that began when he posed for paparazzi pictures. She goes on to say that that estrangement between him and his daughter sadly continues to this day. Are you gonna, I don't know, maybe include the role that you play in that estrangement, a bit to capitalize more off the story? I mean, set the record straight. Piece was written because Meghan's PR machine accused her of breaching ethical boundaries by being by his bedside and reporting on him having his left leg amputated. And she's like, I got permission. Yeah, from a man who you yourself has said is not in great health. There's no amount of maybe he's doing this under duress and not thinking clearly. I mean, perhaps legally that is correct, but morally, ethically, this wasn't your way to help your friend reach his daughter. In fact, you probably did more damage by writing that piece because, again, you published the piece, which Meghan says was the catalyst for the beginning of the end of their time within the British royal family, by doing something that was ruled illegal. Have the audacity to...
Okay. So I found Carol Malone. I'm not sure if this is the apology or not, but I'm going to try and see if this is the Carol Malone apology. I'm going to see. It does not say apology here, but let me see. Oh, wait a minute. It doesn't look like they're even discussing the Duchess of Sussex. So maybe that's not it. Okay, I'm going to check one more. Okay. I do not see where she apologizes. So I guess I do not have that. I wish I did, but I would definitely play it for you if I could find it. But no such animal, which is very, very unfortunate. But yeah, I see her doing a couple of things here, but of course they're talking about anything but that. Wait, nope, that's not it. That's not it. And that's not it. Oh well. I am so sorry. I tried. Oh man. Well, it will come up at some point. And in all likelihood, I will share that with you tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay, I think we covered that. You guys, I think I'm done. I really covered all of this. I'm going to go back to where we started today. If you have any parting comments that you want to make about Rob Reiner or Anthony Geary, please do so. And we will chat back and forth with you here. Let me see. Thomas is not going to improve at this late date. He is a selfish SOB. And has been for a while. Yeah, and we could only guess about the divorce. Oh, thank you, Cookies and Cream. Let's see. Okay. Yes, he should not have been talking to the press. And the fact that he kept doing it, that's what's so terrible, is that it was bad enough he did it in the first place, but he just kept doing it again and again. That is not how you build trust, or, you know. Yep. No good. No good. Jacqueline Rippey, you're quite welcome. Always a pleasure. And everyone, please pray for Rob Reiner's family. This has been very difficult. Pray for his friends. If you ever enjoyed his movies and the people that acted in his movies, they need your prayers. They really do. Okay. Sanders Sr. was going. Yes, I heard that before too. Yep. I heard that before too. It is kind of interesting that they just kind of ended up over there, right? Like father, like son. Both Meghan and Harry have wicked stepmothers running interference with their crappy father. Yeah. Oh, I didn't think about that. Yes, Carolyn Graham could very well become a stepmother. She's already got the evil part down, so she doesn't have to take any extended training to be an evil stepmother. She's has that, in spades. But interesting. I'll get you, my little pretty. Yep. I gosh, I love that one. Okay. All right. Cheers, everyone. Love you guys. Thank you so much. I will not be back later today. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for participating. Thanks for your likes, shares, and subscriptions, and so on. Okay.